Okay, hi everybody. Good to see you all. When I get up, I'll change that camera direction for those of you at home. Okay, how is everybody today? Yes? Moving along? So come to your less habitual cross of your legs. Take off any glasses and just bring your hands onto your thighs with your palms downwards and direct your thighs to go down and become aware of your buttock bones and be balanced on your two buttock bones. And then see if you can lift up through the sides of your trunk from your outer hips all the way to the underarms. And then lift your shoulders up a little bit towards your ears. And then move them back, move your shoulders back. And then release them down. And move your shoulder blades forward into your back. And move your spine forward towards your breastbone. And line up the crown of your head with the base of your spine. And start to attract your attention towards your heart center. And then join your hands there and close your eyes and connect with your breath. Let your breath be soft and smooth. Exhale out anything that's preventing you from being fully here for this practice of yoga today. And take some deeper inhalations to refresh your body, to energize the body for the practice of yoga. And with your chest lifting well and finding that broadness at the top of your upper back and the top of your chest, soften all the muscles, the skin of your face. Bring your eyes back. Draw your ears inwards. And relax your tongue and your jaw, your throat down. And get settled and centered in your heart space. Come to that unchanging peace. We were talking yesterday about how there's physical happiness when the body feels really well. There's mental happiness when the mind is in a good mood. But those things change. The body is always changing. The mind is certainly always changing. The mood is changing. So yoga suggests to us that maybe there's a deeper peace that doesn't change, that's not affected by the state of the body, the state of the mind, the state of the world. It's always there, unchanging. And so yoga invites us to see this part of ourselves again and again and again. And if we feel drawn to it, we feel interested in it, to recognize that this is our true self, this unchanging peace. So bring your head into your heart and let's join our voices, our energies. Let's encourage each other as we chant 3 ohms today. Om. 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 Now raise your chest upwards and bow your head downwards. And feel again your inner promise you make to yourself to be healthy and well And let this practice of yoga help you with that deep inner promise. Release your hands to your thighs with your palms upwards. Raise your head and open your eyes. Okay, so once again, you can switch the cross of your legs, but have a block behind you in this way. So the block is going to be like maybe at the medium level, unless you're on a lot of height, and then you could have it higher. Okay, so have that block behind you. Interlace your fingers in front of your chest. Turn your palms forwards and raise your arms upwards. And move your thighs down. Move the sides of your trunk upwards. Straighten your arms. Reach up through your wrist. See where the stiffness is today, if there's any stiffness, right? And then bring your arms forwards and down. Reverse the interlace of your fingers, and then go back up. Only bring your arms up to the place where you can keep your arms straight. So they might be a little bit forwards. Yes, but just make sure that you're not leaning backwards. Lift the sides of your trunk up. Reach up through your wrists, through your index and thumbs, the skin there. And then bring your arms forwards and down. That's it. Now bring your arms out to the sides horizontally and reach. Top of the chest, top of the upper back, and then like a helicopter, turn and bring your right hand onto that block behind you with your right fingernails backwards, and bring your left hand onto your right thigh near to the knee. But I want you to for today, like we were talking about yesterday, instead of pulling on the outer right knee with your left hand, press down. Push your left hand down and see how that changes your pose. And then turn your abdomen, turn your ribs, have a bend of both elbows. Be balanced evenly on your sitting bones. Lift your chin up a little bit. And as you turn with that back arm, and bring your right ribs back. Press your left hand down gently into that right thigh and move your left ribs further forwards. Come back to the center, raise your arms out to the sides, inhale, and then exhale, turn to the other side. And turn your left fingernails backwards and have a bend of both elbows. Inhale. As you exhale, be balanced evenly on both sitting bones. Don't we tend to like tip towards one sitting bone when we turn? And then turn with that back arm, roll your left shoulder back, and you'll feel that your left ribs move back. Now to help the right ribs come forward, press the right hand down into the left thigh and bring the right chest further forward, and then release. Great, now switch the cross of your legs, and let's do that one more time. So interlace your fingers in front of you, turn your palms forwards, and raise those arms up. Keep moving the thighs down. Don't let them come up. Lift your side ribs up. Straighten those arms. Yes, that's it. Good, you guys. And then bring your arms forwards and down. Reverse the interlace of the fingers and go back up. Yes. Thighs are going down. Lift the sides of your trunk upwards. Straighten those arms. Let me see, there's no one. Okay, good, Pauline, you made it. I'm not sure about Marion. Good, relax your face, relax your jaw, and then bring your arms forwards and down. And again, bring your arms out to the sides. Inhale. As you exhale, reach all the way out, like you're spreading your chest horizontally. And then inhale again, exhale, turn to the right. And maybe you can bring that block that's behind you a little bit more behind the left buttocks. So you can really get a good turn. Bring your left hand onto your right thigh, but don't pull it up. In fact, press the right thigh gently down so that you can move the right chest back and bring the left chest forwards. Lift your chin upwards. Keep your left shoulder back as well. Yes, and then come back to the center. Inhale, as you exhale, reach your arms out. And then inhale again, exhale, turn to the left side. And maybe you can slide that block further behind the right buttocks. Keep your chin lifting. And then bring your right hand onto that outer left thigh. And instead of pulling it up, gently press it down, not with the force, but just gently. That's it, Janie. And then bend the elbows out to the sides. Inhale. How much can you move the left chest back with the back arm? And how much can you bring the right chest forwards with the front arm? Keeping the right shoulder cap back. Great. And then come back to the center. Excellent. And then just stretch out your legs. Okay, and we'll come onto the back. So let's have our heads towards the exit there, except for Eduardo, you can have your feet towards that wall. Okay, and then when you come onto your back, just do a test to make sure you have room to lift up your arms, that you're not going to bump into props or another person. And if you need a blanket under your head, make sure to take that. Have an unlooped belt, and just have your bolster ready on that right-hand side so you can use it as needed. That's it, Eduardo, good. Yeah, and then just start with your arms up over your head. So Supta Urdhva Hastasana. Raise your arms up alongside your ears. They don't have to come all the way to the floor. You can have your hands a little bit wider. And then choose, if it feels better to have your feet a little bit apart, have your legs a little bit apart. Otherwise, join your legs together. And make your two legs one and press your thighs down. That's it. And lengthen your buttocks flesh towards your heels. And then with your arms up over your head, just ask yourself, just move your mat a little bit more to the one side, Eduardo, so you won't run into Ragnarok there. When you raise your arms up, do your back ribs kind of come up? So keep your back ribs down and just notice your navel, how it draws down into your body. Palms are upwards. Just get as long as you can. Think of a pose like downward dog. This pose is very similar in some ways to downward dog. And then inhale, as you exhale, just bring your right knee into the chest. Interlace the fingers on the front of that right shin bone. That's it. Keep that. Make sure that the blanket is under your head and your neck, so your neck isn't hanging. Bring the blanket all the way. So Victoria, bring that blanket further under you, so the top of the blanket comes to the shoulders like that. That's great. And then raise your arms upwards again. Raise the arms up and extend the right leg out. And then inhale, and then exhale, bring your left leg up. Bring that left leg up. Interlace the fingers and keep reaching through that right leg. Now let's do that dynamically. So inhale, raise your arms and stretch out your left leg. Exhale, bring the right leg up. And just start to go back and forth like that, connecting your breath with your movement. I wouldn't say it's cold here in Miami, but it's a little bit cooler than it usually is, right? Which is nice, but you need to warm up the joints, right? Also good to connect the breath with the movement, lubricate the joints. And then once you've done it like 3 to 5 times, then you just hold your right knee into the chest. Do that, draw your right toes up towards your knee and get longer through your left leg. Really lengthen it and press it down. And then keep that left leg pressing down as you belt your right foot. Put the belt on the big toe mound and the little toe mound of the foot, and extend your unlooped belt upwards. And just lean your left leg into the floor and lean your right leg away from your head and your chest at first. So you have that sensation of the thighs moving back. Yes, and then pull the ball of your foot way down and point your heel upwards. Point your heel up to the ceiling and extend from the back of the knee all the way up to that heel. Yes, and move your kneecap deep into the leg. This way. So like the final piece of a jigsaw puzzle that you and your family have been working on for days, and you have that final piece and it just goes in. That's what you want your kneecap to go into the leg. That's it. Keep your eyes open, keep your breath soft, and then lift the ball of your foot up into the belt so that the front of your ankle, the front of the right ankle starts to unwrinkle. Inhale, and now pull your right foot towards your face, any amount. Pull the right foot towards the face, keeping the left leg pressing down, the right thigh pressing back. Yes. And draw the lower abdomen down towards the spine. Good. Now just put your belt across your chest, raise your arms upwards and Stretch your right leg out and just get longer without arching the back. Straighten your arms, even if they're a little bit wider. And so lift your hands upwards, Eduardo, lift your hands up so your arms can be straight. Yes, even a little higher. There you go, now your arms are straight. Good, now inhale. As you exhale, bring your left knee into the chest. Interlace the fingers on the front of that left shin bone. And then inhale again. As you exhale, pull your left toes up towards your left knee and reach out longer through that right leg. Really press it down. Get longer and longer, and see that your inner groins are kind of moving away from each other. And then belt your left foot, the big toe mound and the little toe mound of the foot. And then press the right leg down and lean your left leg back away from your head and your chest. So you get that sense of direction, the fronts of the thighs into the backs of the thighs. And then inhale. As you exhale, point your left heel upwards and pull the ball mounds of your foot down. Yes, and move that kneecap into the leg until it gets flat. Look at your kneecap. Is it going flat into the leg? Move the kneecap flat into the leg so it kind of disappears. Get the kneecap to go flat into the leg. Yes, flat into the leg. Yes. And now lift the ball mound of your foot up into the belt till the front of your ankle unwrinkles. Inhale. As you exhale, pull your foot over your face or in that direction. Don't let your right leg change. Keep it pressing down. Don't let your head get thrown back. Keep moving the kneecaps into the legs. Good. Now just release that left leg and belt your right foot and make sure that your bolster is on that right-hand side. And again, stretch through that left leg, extend it, keep the right thigh pressing back. Inhale, but then start to pull your right foot towards your face. Pull the right foot towards the face, keeping the left leg down, the left toes upwards. And then hold on to the belt with your right hand. Inhale, and then exhale, take your right leg over to the right, over to the right. Make sure that your pelvis isn't tipping over. If it is, bring your bolster closer in or put some more height onto the bolster. Yes, and then bring that right leg back up. Stretch your left arm out to the side in line with your shoulder. Keep your left toes going upwards. Inhale. Exhale, bring your right leg over to the right and a little bit upwards. Over to the right and a little bit upwards. Over to the right. We're doing that same one. Over to the right and a little bit upwards towards your shoulders. Yeah, so you're doing a different pose, Ragnhild. And then press into the ball of your foot with that right inner foot. Extend that right inner leg. Extend it outwards. Roll the abdomen to the left. Bring your right leg further to the right, Binu, all the way over and a little bit up towards your shoulders. If there isn't room for your left arm, just bring it like Shavasana, your left arm like Shavasana, but with your palm down. And it gives you a sense of stability. Good. And now bring your leg back to the center and release that leg and move your bolster to the other side. There you go. Belt your left foot. Extend it up. Focus first on that right leg. Really press it down. Press your left thigh back. Take a deeper inhalation, keeping the back of the neck long. Face is soft. Pull your left foot over your face. Yes, like that. Suck the kneecaps in. Your legs are very straight, Janie. They're very straight. So I know it's when you have the body weight on them, but just, your legs are very straight. They're good. And now hold on to the belt with your left hand and then bring that left leg out to the side. Just kind of see what's happening there. If you have the right height. Yeah, that's fine to use a block there, Thomas. That's great. Yeah. Good. And then bring your left leg back to the center. So we're going to take that same side. So now stretch your right arm out to the side. Keep your back right waist down. Inhale, and then take that left leg over to the left and a little bit upwards towards your shoulders. Feel free to bring your left elbow down in line with your left shoulder. And roll your abdomen back to the right. Stretch your right arm to the right if there's room, otherwise have that right arm in Shavasana with your palm downwards. If you're stretching the right arm to the right, have your palm upwards so you can lift the shoulder blades into the back. Keep your neck straight in Tadasana and open up that left inner leg. These are coming well. Now come back to the center. Nice. And release that leg. Put your bolster back on the first side. And belt your right foot again. So press that left inner leg down. Press the right thigh back. Inhale, and then exhale. Pull your right foot towards your face. See if repeating the poses makes any difference. If there's any more flexibility in the hamstrings. Hold the belt now with your left hand and take that right leg over to the left. Keeping your left toes moving upwards. Keeping your left inner thigh moving downwards. Make sure to keep reaching into the belt with the right inner foot, lifting into the belt with the outer foot. And then see if you can roll your right hip down away from your right shoulder. Roll your outer right thigh down and maybe pull your right foot up towards your left shoulder. Roll your abdomen back to the right. Exhale your breath where you need to have some release, right? The exhalation releases us. Good, you guys. Now come back to the center one more time. Hold the belt with your right hand. Bring your left arm out or in Shavasana with the palm down. And then bring that right leg over to the right one more time, both over and up, over and up. Yes, and some of you will even keep your elbow up. If it feels good, keep your elbow up. Yes, and then move your left foot more to the left. Move your left leg more to the left. Yes. Deepen your breath. How soft can you get that inner right leg? And how connected can you get the outer leg from the outer foot to the outer hip? Good, you guys. Now bring both of your legs back to the center. And then one last time, put the bolster on the left-hand side. Belt your left foot. And then focus on that right leg pressing down and that left thigh really pressing back. And then take a deeper inhalation at the very end of the exhalation. When you feel like your navel starts to go back, that's when you draw your left foot towards your face. Draw the left foot towards the face, maintaining the right thigh down, maintaining the left thigh moving back, moving the kneecaps deeper and deeper into the leg. Hold the belt with your right hand, inhale, and then exhale, take that left leg over to the right side. Keeping your right inner leg moving down. So Ragnhild and Grace, you're doing a different pose. Yeah, so hold with your, go this side. Yeah, that's it, that's it. And then see if you can reach into the belt with that left inner foot and roll your outer left hip down, outer left thigh down, and maybe you can bring your left foot upwards a little bit towards the shoulder, towards that opposite shoulder, the right shoulder. There you go. Exhale where you need to release. Good, now come back to the center one last time. Hold on to the belt with your left hand, and some of you will have your left hand really close to the foot if you want to keep your elbow up. Or some of you can hold on to the toe. That's it, Grace. And then bring your left leg out to the side and a little bit upwards towards your shoulders. Feel free to bring your elbow down or keep it up. You can kind of choose. Find a position for your right arm and then move your right leg more to the right. And roll your abdomen also to the right and find that softness on that inner left leg and pull back so that the outer left leg connects back in. Deepen the breath. Very good, you guys. And then bring both of your legs back to the center. Raise your arms up again. Choose to have your legs either apart or together. Connect your buttocks to your heels, move your back ribs down. If it feels good to your shoulders, lock your thumbs above you and pull on your thumbs until your upper arms squeeze into your head. Switch the cross of your thumbs. That's it. And then inhale, as you exhale, bring your knees into the chest and wrap your arms around both legs. Keeping the bottom of the buttocks down, pulling the thighs down into the abdomen, and the abdomen, draw it down towards your lower back. And then bring your feet down, keeping your knees bent. Keep your left hip in, don't let it swing out to the side, and then cross your right leg, your right ankle over your left thigh, near to the knee. That's it. And move your right knee away from your right shoulder, just very gently moving that soft tissue. That's it. And if this feels okay, you can stay here, keeping the left leg in. Otherwise, lift up your left leg, bring your right arm in between your legs and interlace your fingers on the back of the left thigh. Flex your right foot, draw your right toes up towards the knee, kind of like how when we were pulling the ball of the foot down, and move your right knee away from your right shoulder. And then ask yourself, is my tailbone coming up off the floor? Can you lengthen your tailbone towards the floor, towards the sticky mat, so that the bottom of the sacrum stays down? And then release and go to the other side. So keep your right hip in as you cross your left ankle over. And then move the left knee by lengthening the left inner thigh. So the left knee moves away from the left shoulder. And then lift up your right thigh. Bring your left arm in between and interlace your fingers there. Keep the tailbone moving down. Notice, does my head roll back? Does my head start to arch back? So don't let your head arch back. Keep the sides of your neck soft. Keep moving that left knee back. See if you can lengthen the back of your neck. I'll give you another blanket. Good. Let's do that one more time. So bring your feet flat. And then cross your right ankle over. Keep your left hip in. Move the right knee away from the right shoulder. Lift up the left thigh. Interlace the fingers on the back of the left thigh. And if you have any knee troubles, bring your hands, like your index fingers, all the way up behind the knee. Bring your hands all the way up behind the knee if you have any knee issues. So you get a sense of spaciousness. Others of you, you can reach further forwards and bring your hands in front of the shin bone, as long as you don't have any knee concerns. Bring your hands in front of the shin bone. Keep moving that right knee back. Flex your right foot. Move the tailbone side of the sacrum down. Move that right knee away from the right shoulder. That's it. Good. Now bring your feet flat and we'll do that again. So keep your hips even. Don't let the left hip shift to the left as you cross your left ankle over. Or don't let the right hip shift to the right, rather. Okay, and then move that left knee away from the shoulder. And then maintain that as you lift up your right thigh, interlace your fingers on the back of the thigh. And again, if you have any knee challenge, just get your hands all the way up behind the knee. That's a really good habit to get into. If you can't reach, you can always use a belt. And if that feels okay, keeping the left knee moving back, keeping the tailbone moving down, reach further forward and hold on to the front of your shin bone. And make sure that your head doesn't roll back. Keep lengthening the back of the neck. Deepen your breath. Exhale into where you feel any stiffness. That's the way. Good. And now release that. Great. Now bring your arms out to the sides if there's room. If there isn't room, maybe just turn your body, Binu, so your head and your shoulders will come towards the orange wall. Turn your head and or you can do it that way too. That's fine. Your head and your shoulders can go towards the ropes. Lift up your hips a little bit and shift your hips towards the right, which is the orange wall side, and then bring your knees up and over onto that bolster, which is still there, isn't it? That bolster is on the left-hand side. Yes. And make sure that your knee and your shin bone and your foot all come onto the bolster. So knee, shin bone, and foot. Yeah, try to get your knees one on top of each other if you can. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So did you shift your, I think you're going, you have to bring your knees this way. Yeah, because you're doing the opposite side. So just make sure that your knees are to your left. Your knees are to your left because you want to turn to the right. Turn your abdomen to the right. You can put your left hand on your top knee. Put your left hand on that top knee. Give it a little bit of weight. Now lift up your chest until it gets thinner. And then exhale, turn your abdomen to the right. Turn the abdomen, turn it. Yes, without turning your head. And get the right shoulder all the way down. Can you put your left hand on your top knee there, Ragnar? There you go. Get that right shoulder to get all the way down to the floor. Good, now come back to the center. That's it, and then move the bolster to the other side. Shift your hips away from the bolster. And then bring your knees up and over onto that bolster. Your knees, your outer right shin bone, and your ankle is all going to come up onto the bolster. Yes. Bring your knees a little bit higher than your hips. They don't have to be dramatically higher, but a little bit higher. Get your top knee on top of your bottom knee as best you can. And then put your right hand on your top knee. Inhale, give yourself a lift. Inhale, lift upwards. And now roll your abdomen away from the bolster, away from your knees. And reach that left arm out to the side and get your left shoulder to come down. So find that rolling of the abdomen. That's the name of the pose, the stomach rolling pose. Rolling the abdomen, super healthy for the back. Some of you might even feel a stretch in your back. And that tells you how connected the abdomen and the lower back is. Now come back to the center. We're going to do that one more time. Some of you can just put the bolster again on the left-hand side. Others of you can put the bolster in between your feet and your knees. In between your feet and your knees. Yes, like a long bolster in between your feet and your knees. And then shift your hips to the right and bring your knees over to the left. Bring your knees over to the left. That's it. So now maybe you're hugging, kind of like some of you might sleep this way. I do. I sleep with a pillow in between my legs there. So some of you might sleep that way. So it's kind of like a sleeping position. So bring your knees a little bit higher than your hips. Flex your feet. Draw your feet up, the toes up. Put your left hand on your top knee. Inhale. Now lift your chest way upwards and then roll the abdomen. Roll it in the opposite direction of the knees and get your right shoulder down. Turn your right palm upwards. Roll the abdomen. That's the way. Good. Now come back to the center. Press your feet down and shift your hips to the left side and bring your knees over to the right. And maybe your knees are on top of the bolster, or maybe you have the bolster in between your legs. And then lift your knees a little bit up, draw your toes up. Yes. And then put your right hand on your top knee, give it a little bit of weight. And then inhale, lift upwards until you feel like your spine gets longer. And now turn to roll your abdomen from the knee side away. That's it. And get that back shoulder, that left shoulder to come down without turning your head. Can you turn your abdomen? Can you turn your rib cage without turning your head? And use your breath. Great. And now bring your self back to the center. You can take the bolster out, bring your feet together and let your knees come apart for Supta Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana. That's it. Bring your feet as close to the pelvis as you can, as long as there's no knee concerns. Press your heels into each other and spread those inner thighs. Lengthen your buttocks flesh towards the feet. Hold on to the side edges of your sticky mat and lift your chest away from your pelvis. And then raise your arms up again alongside your ears, just with your palms upwards. And lengthen from your hips to your hands. Lift the shoulder blades up. That's it, Eduardo. Nice. Keep the back ribs down. Soften the sides of the neck. Keep pressing the heels into each other to spread the inner thighs. Supta Baddha Konasana, active. Great. And then bring your arms back alongside your body. Bring your legs back together. Roll to the side, and let's come onto the hands and the knees. So you'll be facing the exit there. If you need a blanket under your knees, make sure to take that. Okay, otherwise just have your knees under your hips, have your hands under the shoulders, and then walk your hands forwards, one hand's distance, turn your hands out. If anyone uses blocks under the hands, feel free to put your blocks under your hands. Take your feet as wide as the mat, roll the toes under, and go into downward dog. So a decentralized downward dogs, which means the legs are wider than the shoulders, as wide as the sticky mat or thereabouts. And your heels a little bit wider than the toes. The hands are slightly turned out. Good. Thomas, walk your hands further forward. Binu also, walk your feet further back and take your heels wider. Good. So spread those fingers away from your palms. Press your inner hands down. Suck your elbows in. Yes. Turn the tops of the arms out and move your hips back. Spread your toes. Press down through the ball mounds of your feet. Fight to get your heels closer to the floor. Lift up your kneecaps and draw your legs up into your hips. And move your thighs back. Move back, move back, move back. That's it. And then bring your knees down. Bring your big toes to touch. Have your knees apart and sit down on your feet. Sit down on the feet for child's pose. If your head is off the floor, take your knees a little bit wider. Sit your hips down, and then if it's still off the floor, put something under your head, put something between your hips and your feet. So you can really sit down. So Eduardo, take your knees wider, take your knees wider, as wide as the mat, as wide as the mat, and bring your big toes to touch. Hold on to the side edges of your sticky mat and stretch the sticky mat forwards and move your hips all the way back to the feet, all the way back. There you go. Now you've got it. That's it. All the way back. Move your outer hips down towards your ankles. Good. Now keep that backward motion. Let go of the mat. Good. And walk your hands further forward. That's it. Reach your breastbone forwards. Breastbone forwards. That's it. Good. And now bring your hands back alongside your head and come up, and we're going to do Uttanasana. Some of you will be better at a wall, so find a wall and just walk your feet back. Others of you can have your feet as wide as the mat and take your hands out to the sides. If you have bone density issues, have some high blocks and go forward this way. Okay, so you can do that. Otherwise, bring your hands down. Yes. Take your hands wider than the mat. Take the head down. Yes, that's it. Otherwise, have your hands on a wall. Uttanasana. Feet are as wide as the mat. So color the outer edges of your feet into the edges of your mat. Straighten your legs and lift your kneecaps up. And again, suck the kneecaps back in. You can see your kneecaps. Firm your outer hips in and flow the sides of the trunk downwards. Keep your hips back a little bit more, Galia. Keep your hips back, 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 back. Move your hips back. There you go. Yeah, so don't walk the blocks so far forward. That looks good. Yeah, you can have your hand. Those of you with the bone density issue, you can bring the blocks lower if that feels okay, or even be on your fingertips. Just keep your head in between your arms. Straighten your legs. Victoria, bring your hips a little bit further forward. Yes, there you go. Good. And now bring your hands onto your hips. Reach the chest forwards and up you come. Good. Come and get a chair. And have the chair on the right-hand side of your mat with the feet of the chair facing inwards. Stand in Tadasana with your feet together. Or you can have your legs a little bit apart, your feet a little bit apart. Good. So settle back into your heels. Connect your buttocks to your heels. Reach down through your arms, move the shoulder blades into the back. And reach up through the crown of your head and then raise your arms upwards. Roll those outer armpits forwards. Go back into your heels, almost like you're going to go back. Yeah, and your toes might even lift. That's okay. Lift and spread them. Draw the kneecaps up, straighten those arms. Make sure that your back ribs are lifting. So lift those back. There you go. And then roll these arms this way. The outer armpits roll towards the tip of the nose. Beautiful. And then bring your arms forwards and down. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Spread your arms out sideways and bring your right foot out and then your left foot out. So bring your feet all the way out under the hands. Turn your right leg out from the top of your thigh. Turn your left foot in. Inhale. As you exhale, reach your right hand to the back of the chair. Bring your left hand onto your hip. Straighten your front leg. Can you straighten it here, Janie? Let me see. Straight. That's straight. Yeah, that's pretty straight. Sometimes straighter than my leg, so that's good. That's okay. Yeah, lift your toes. Lift your toes. Try to keep the ball of your foot down, but lift your toes on both feet. Lift your toes. Activate your arches. Yes, now bring your right buttocks forwards and then roll the left shoulder back. Roll the left shoulder back. Good. Now, with your left hand, bring it to the right side of your abdomen, this way, and roll your abdomen up towards the ceiling like we did. Roll it up towards the ceiling. Doesn't that feel kind of nice? And then lift up your left arm and up you come out of the pose. Turn your right toes forwards, bring your hands to the hips. Deepen your breath. Good, we'll do that again on that same side. So raise your arms shoulder height and reach. Now turn your right leg out, turn your left foot slightly in. Inhale, as you exhale, reach over, bring your left hand onto the hip. Good, now straighten your legs, bring the right buttocks forwards, lift your head away. Yes, roll that left shoulder back, roll the abdomen upwards, keep that abdomen rolling upwards and change your arm position. Maybe you bring it down to the chair, you bring it down to your leg, but keep rolling the abdomen up and then lift up your left arm and move your shoulder blades in. That's the way. Good. And then reach up with your left arm. These are excellent. Turn your right toes forwards. Take your hands to your hips, deepen your breath. Bring your hands to the center of your chest, step your right leg in, your left leg in, and move your chair to the other side. So again, stand in Tadasana, bring your feet either together or have a little bit of space in between your feet, shift back into your heels, reach your breastbone upwards, bring your spine towards your breastbone. Bring your shoulders back. And then again, raise your arms upwards. This time, keep your outer armpits going forwards, but turn just your palms forwards. So Urdhva Hastasana 2, the palms are forwards. And reach from your underarms to your palms. And think of down dog. Isn't it down dog? Yes. And move the thighs back. Move the shoulder blades in. Yes. Reach up. You can always take your arms wider, just like when we decentralize the arms in down dog. When you decentralize, your joints get more space. Good. Now turn your palms outwards, bring your arms out to the sides and down. Now bring your hands to the center of your chest, spread your arms and take your left and then your right leg out. Turn your left leg out from the top of the thigh and straighten it. Turn your right foot in and straighten it. Inhale, as you exhale, reach to the back of the chair and bring your right hand onto the hip. So straighten that left leg. Yes. Bring the left buttocks forwards. Yeah, it's not terrible, Janie. I mean, just lift up your toes, lift up your toes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that already helped it. Yes, bring the left buttocks forwards, right thigh back. Now bring your right hand and roll your abdomen up towards the ceiling. Roll it like we did on our backs and roll the right shoulder back and then lift up that right arm. Doesn't that change the pose? And then reach up. That's it. Now turn the left toes forwards. Deepen your breath. Bring your arms out to the sides. Turn your left leg out. Turn your right foot in. Straighten your legs and turn them both out. Inhale. As you exhale, reach with your left hand. Bring your right hand onto the hip. And then with or without your hand, it doesn't matter, but just roll the abdomen up and then Bring your left hand either down to the chair or down to the leg without turning your abdomen to the floor. Keep rolling it. Raise the right arm up. Keep it resisting away from gravity. Yes. Shoulder blades in. Reach up with that right arm. Don't let your top arm go back behind your bottom arm. Yeah, there you go. Now reach up with that right arm and up you come. It's a very straight leg, Janie. I wouldn't, you're working well. Just keep doing what you're doing. Bring your left hands to the chest. Bring your left foot in. Bring your right leg in and stand in Tadasana. Good, now put the chair in front of you this way. So the back of the chair, so it will look like this. The back of the chair is going to be in front of you. And you can have the chair like on the wood floor in front. Yeah, so organize yourself. Good, now. No, we're gonna do Virabhadrasana too. So bring your feet together or have a little bit of space. Interlace your fingers in front of your chest. Turn your palms forwards and raise those arms. Thighs are back, buttocks is down, back ribs, side ribs, all lifting, outer upper arms in. That's it, and then come down. Bring your hands to the center of your chest and go back up. Push the ceiling upwards, push the floor downwards, and then bring your arms forwards and down. Good, now bring your arms out to the sides and step your right foot out and then step your left leg out. Good, now turn your right leg out from the top of your thigh, turn your left foot in, bring your hands onto the chair, press down into the chair and lift. So make sure it's not too far away. You don't want to sense that you're leaning forwards, and then bend your front knee. Get your knee right over the ankle. If I hold too long, just straighten your knee and then come back up. So make sure that your kneecap is going right over the middle of the foot. Try to get your right hip a little bit lower if possible. That's it. And then keep your right hand onto the chair and with your left hand, turn your abdomen back this way. Your abdomen rolls this way. So just see how that affects it, but don't let your knee drop in. The knee goes back. So the abdomen goes away from that knee and then come on up. Good, turn your right toes forwards. Bring your hands to your hips. We're gonna do that same side. Did any of you feel that? How the abdomen goes one way and the inner thigh goes the other way, right? So that once you learn the direction of your abdomen in any of the poses, it will make a better pose. Okay, so once again, raise your arms out to the sides and then turn your right leg out and turn your left foot in. Bring your hands onto the chair, press down and lift up. So use the chair to your advantage. Keep that lift of your chest as you go down. Yes, get your knee right over the ankle. Make sure the kneecap is coming right over the middle of the foot. And then that changes. That's it. Now with or without your hand, roll your abdomen back to the left. That's it. And maybe raise your arms. Otherwise, keep your hands on the chair. Yes, and look towards the right, but keep rolling the abdomen to the left. Look out over your right middle finger from the outer corners of your eyes. Go down with your hips. Nice, Thomas. Beautiful. And then come on up. Turn your right toes forward. The only thing you have to do is soften your jaw and your neck. Right? Soften the jaw and the neck. But that was a nice pose. Okay, so bring your arms out to the sides. Turn your left leg out from the top of the thigh. Turn the right foot in. Bring your hands onto the chair and lift. Lift. And then bend your front knee. Go down. So get this knee right over the ankle. Keep the knee back. So don't let it come forwards towards the big toe. Straighten your back leg. See if you can move this left hip down. Now keep your left hand on the chair. Use your right hand and roll the abdomen. Roll it back. Yes, that's it. And then come on up. Turn your left toes forwards. Bring your hands to your hips. Take some deeper breaths in and out. Good. One more time like that. So raise your arms. Turn your left leg out. Turn your right foot in. Bring your hands onto the chair. Use the chair to lift. Bend your left knee. Go down. Bend that left knee. Equalize your body weight on that right leg. With or without your hand, roll the abdomen back to the right. And then maybe raise your arms. Raise your arms and look to the left. But keep your abdomen rolling to the right. Look out over that left middle finger. Go down with your hips. Go down. That's it. Nice, everybody. Now straighten the front knee. Turn your left foot in. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. And then bring your arms and your legs back together. Put your chair on this side of your mat. Put your hands on the seat of the chair and walk back for Ardha Uttanasana. So have your feet directly under the hips, and you can choose to have your feet either as wide as your shoulders or as wide as the sticky mat, but have the outer edges of your feet parallel to each other. Press down through your big toe mounds and then move over to your little toe mounds and be in the center of the heels. Lift up your kneecaps and roll the inner thighs back as if there was like a yoga block in between your thighs that you were trying to move back. And then move your outer hips back as if you had the ropes on your outer hips. And then lengthen from your hands back to your hips. Deepen your breath, straighten the legs. Lift your head a little bit, Binu, so it doesn't drop down. There you go. And then walk forwards towards the chair, and we'll do Parsvottanasana. So stand about 2 feet from the chair, step your right foot forward under the chair, step your left leg back. And you have a heel to heel alignment of your feet. You can always take your feet a little bit wider apart. And if you need something under the back heel, yeah, put a folded blanket under the back heel. So hands to the hips, straighten your legs, and then with your left hand, steer your left hip towards the chair and steer your right hip away from the chair. Left hip towards the chair, right hip away. Lift up through the sides of the chest and then come down. Bring your hands onto the chair seat and lift your chest and look beyond the top of the chair. So your upper back comes in, your upper back moves in. Ragnhild, take a longer distance. Now again, straighten your legs. Your back foot is turned out about 45 degrees. Steer your left hip forwards and steer your right hip backwards. Good. Now, if you have any back considerations, just bend your front knee and bring the back leg forwards. Otherwise, with your legs straight, bring your hands to the hips and come up. Bring your hands to the hips and come up. Very good. And now bend your front knee and switch your legs. Great. So step the right leg back about 4.5 feet. You have a heel to heel alignment with your hands on your hips. Steer your right hip forwards, pressing that outer right foot down. Steer your left hip back. Lift up through the sides of the chest. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, and then keep your hands on your hips and slowly come down and bring your hands onto the chair. Make sure the chair isn't too far forward. It's just basically like right under your shoulders, the front edge of that chair seat. Straighten your legs again, pressing the heels down and move your left hip back and your right hip forwards. Press your hands down and lift your chest. Lift your chest upwards. Good. Now, if you have any back sensitivity, just bend your front knee, bring the back leg forwards. Otherwise, press your heels down, bring your hands to the hips and come up. Yes, that's it, Galia. Good. Very nice. Okay, one more time. Right leg forward, left leg back. Now this time, once you have your legs in position, raise your arms upwards, turn your palms forwards, and lock your thumbs above you, as long as you don't have any shoulder sensitivity. And now it's not just your left hips that come forward and your right hips back. Can you see how your left ribs are a little bit back? Can you bring your left ribs forwards? Yes, like we did at the very beginning. Soften your face. Now keep this length on the sides of your trunk. Bring your hands onto the hips. Roll your shoulders back and pretend you have a ball between your elbows. Come halfway down. That's it. And bring your hands onto the chair. And straighten your legs again. Move your left hip forward, your right hip back. And then some of you can bring the heel of your hands onto the top of the back of the chair and slide your chair forward. Slide the chair forward. So your head will come in between your arms. Yes. Good. For some of you, if this feels okay, you could even bring your hands onto the chair and slide the chair itself forward. Otherwise, stay here. This looks great. Yeah, that's it. And then just slide that chair forward. You got it like that. Yeah. So everyone's in a slightly different place. Good. That's it. Keep the breastbone reaching forwards. Yes. Straighten your legs. Move the fronts of your thighs into the backs of the thighs. Bring more weight to your outer left foot, Thomas, because your left hip is falling forward. Don't let the left hip fall forward. So you have to press more through here to keep this hip back and to keep this hip in. Good. Now bring your hands back to that first position under your shoulders. And again, come up the same way. Either bend your front knee, bring the back leg forwards, or keep your legs straight and bring your hands to the hips. Good, last time, second side. Bring your left leg forwards and your right leg back. Line up your left heel with your right heel, and once you have your leg position, raise your arms up again. Raise your arms upwards and lock your thumbs the less habitual way above you. And keep your attention in the outer edge of that right foot. Straighten your legs, and as you steer the right hip forward towards the chair and the left hip back, notice your rib cage. Aren't the right ribs a little bit back? Bring them forwards. Now keep this length on the sides of your trunk as you bring your hands to your hips. Lift your shoulders, roll them back. Pretend you have that ball between your elbows. Inhale, and then exhale, come down. Concave your back, straighten your legs, even out your hips, and then you can bring your hands up to the top of the chair. Yes, and move the chair forwards so that your head will come down. Yeah, that's it. Maybe move your body back a little bit, Eduardo, so you have more room. Yeah, that's it, just your whole body. There you go. Some of you can bring your hands onto the chair seat itself and move the chair forward. You can see, or just walk your fingers forward on the chair seat. That looks good, Victoria. Keep the left hip moving back, the right hip coming forwards. Get extension on the sides of the waist, fronts of the thighs into the backs of your thighs. Just really slight. Good. Bring your hands onto the seat of the chair. Pause. Pull it closer if you moved it forwards. That's it. And then keep your legs straight. Bring your hands onto the hips and come up out of the pose. That's it. Now you can bend that left knee and come up. Good. Now you can bring the chair forward again. And you can turn it this way. So now have the seat of the chair. So we're going to slide it. So make sure you have enough room to slide your chair that way. And then just stand with your heels towards the back edge of your mat. Bring your hands to the center of your chest. Bring your arms out and then step your left and then your right leg out. Bring your feet all the way out under the fingertips. Roll to the little toe sides of the feet. Lift your kneecaps and spread the legs out. Suck the outer hips in. Reach out through the sides of your trunk. Now bring your hands to your hips. Roll those shoulders back and then come down and bring your hands onto the chair. Lift your chest. Inhale and then slide the chair forward. That's it. Slide that chair forward. Don't let your hips come forward. Keep your hips right in line with your ankles. Straighten your legs and spread them. Good. And then slide the chair back. Stay there. Lift your chest. Good. And then one more time, slide the chair forward. And some of you can bring your hands down to the floor. You don't need the chair. So bring your fingertips or your palms down to the floor. Walk your hands all the way forward like down dog. Yes. Don't let your hips go forwards. Keep your hips right over your ankles. Press your hands or your fingertips down and move your hips back. And now the ball, there's a big ball in between your legs and you're rolling it back. Roll the inner thighs back. Turn the tops of the arms out, away from the sides of the neck. Deepen your breath. That's the way. Now walk your hands back under the shoulders. Bring your feet closer together. And bring your hands onto your hips. Reach the chest forwards and up you come. Great. Now reach for your chair and just put the chair just like this on your mat. And then you'll be sitting this way. And if you find that your knees are higher than your hips, if your knees are higher than the hips, sit on a folded blanket. Sit on a folded blanket. Reach for your bolster and put it in between your feet and your knees. And then turn to the orange wall. And continue our twisting. That's it. So turn, bring your hands onto the sides of the back of the chair. That's it. And then keep your, let's see which hand it is. Keep your left hand, I think it's the left hand, right? Yeah, keep your left hand where it is. Take your right hand and turn your abdomen all the way around. So use this to get this turn. And then once you have that with your right hand, push into the back of the chair, push in. And then with your left hand, pull. Lift your chin upwards and turn. And then release. Good. Now make sure that you're sitting far enough back in the chair. See how my legs are all the way against the legs of the chair. So you're sitting far enough back. And this leg is kind of ratcheted. So I have this knee, I can push into this chair. So there's a leverage. Sit further back. You want the knee touching all the way back. You have to sit further back in the chair. That's it. So we're going to do that same twist. So inhale, raise your arms upwards. That's it. And then as you exhale, turn. Now bring your left hand onto the center of the right hand onto the center of the chair and bring your left hand somewhere behind you. That's it, onto the seat of the chair. Yes, that's it. I might have gotten the arms mixed up, right? Left hand onto the back of the chair. You're good. Yeah, left hand. I think I got my arms mixed up. So bring your left hand onto the back of the chair and then the right hand somewhere along the rim of the seat of the chair. Yes. Now, are you still rolling your abdomen? Roll the abdomen, hug the bolster, and you can push your right thigh into the chair and then turn. Lift your chin upwards. Pull with your left hand. Try to pull up the chair seat. You won't be able to. Lift your chin upwards. Yeah, so you have to have this right hand here. Yeah, somehow your body isn't turned in the right direction. Yeah, you have to turn your body around. Okay, and then release that. Good. Okay, good. Now turn your body to the other side. Okay, so turn. And we're just going to do that first one now. So have the bolster in between your feet and your knees. And then just turn towards the orange wall. Make sure that you're sitting far enough back. Yes. That you have the legs really connected to the chair. Good. And then once you have your turn, keep your right hand on the chair. With your left hand, turn this abdomen all the way around to the left. Slide it. Use your hand to teach your abdomen where to turn. So slide that abdomen. It really helps, doesn't it? To use your hand there. Yeah, that's it. Now push your left hand into the back of the chair and keep that turning. That's it. Lift your chin upwards, turn your abdomen, turn your ribs. You should have an evenness on both sides. These look good. And now release. Good. We'll do that same side. So raise your arms upwards. Inhale. As you exhale, turn towards the back of the chair. And now you bring your right hand onto the center of the chair and you bring your left hand somewhere along the seat of the chair. You got it. Hug the bolster with your feet and your knees. Yes. And now, of course, you don't have your hand, but turn your abdomen to the left. Turn your ribs to the left. Lift your chin upwards. Yes, turn. Use your inhalation to lift. And as you pull with your right hand, pull the chair seat up with your left hand, Bharadvajrasana in the chair. Can you get your right chest all the way to the orange wall? Your right chest. Yes. And now release. Super good. Now come out of your chair and just take your legs wide apart for Upavishta Konasana and have that block behind you as well. So you can sit on your bolster or you can sit on a blanket, whatever you need for Upavishta Konasana. And just bring your fingertips onto your bolster. If you have any knee concerns, put like a blanket under the knees like that. So you have something under your knees so they're not just hanging in space. Some of you, yeah, you can sit lower down. Maybe you can sit on a folded blanket. You could just sit on the front edge of a folded blanket. And take your legs as wide as you can and then just center yourself over your right leg and press the right knee down, keep the right toes upwards, and then take your fingers and bifurcate the back of the thigh. So spread it, pull it apart, and also move the hamstring towards the knee. And then do the same thing with your calf muscle. Pull the calf muscle apart and then lengthen it towards the knee. And see now if your right leg isn't a little bit closer to the floor. That's it. Now turn over your left leg. So make sure the kneecap is going upwards, the toes are going upwards, and then bifurcate the hamstring, pull it apart, and then bifurcate the calf muscle and lengthen it towards the heel. And then bring your fingertips behind you or whatever you're sitting on and erase the space under the knees by pressing the thighs down. Bring your fingertips onto the bolster or onto the floor and lift up through your chest. Lengthen the inner legs outwards. That's it. Good. Now if you're on a bolster, you'll have your hand on the block. If you're on the floor or closer to the floor, your right hand can just come back behind you. Bring your left hand in front of you. That's it. So move your right hand further back towards the right buttocks. And with your left hand, grab hold of some sticky mat and pull. Yes. Remember how we were doing at the beginning? Pull on the mat. Yes. So when you turn, lengthen that left inner leg way back behind you without letting your left leg roll in. Move your right hand further back, have a bend of that right elbow, and move the right chest back and the left chest forwards. Turn, Parsva, Upavishta, Konasana. Lift your chin up and then release. Good, now other side. Bring your left hand behind you and with your right hand, grab hold of a fistful of sticky mat and turn. As you turn to the left, lengthen that right inner leg back behind you. Yes, and draw the outer left leg back in. Don't let your right leg roll in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, turn your abdomen, turn your ribs. And then release. Good. Now bring your legs into Baddha Konasana and adjust your height. So I'm just going to go ahead and sit back on my bolster. You might want to sit on a folded blanket. And sit. And just use your hands and open up your inner feet. Bring your feet as close as you can. Ah, Grace, that's gotten better, hasn't it? Yeah. Press your heels into each other. So this presses. Heels in, inner thighs out. Bring your hands onto the top of your thighs here and see if you can turn your legs out. Externally rotate your legs. Use your hands. So we're doing some tactile movements today, right, to help us understand. So see how I have my hands here on the thighs? Turn the inner thighs to the outer thighs. Yes, that's it. And press your heels into each other. And then maintain that as you bring your fingertips behind you and then lift. Nice, Victoria. Get your knees to go to the floor. They may not go. Use your hands, Ragnhild, and then lift your chest. Roll the shoulders back. Are you still pressing your heels into each other? Yes, good. And then release. Bring your legs together and then stretch them out. Good. Now come onto your back and just have this bolster under your hips. This way. And if possible, take a folded blanket and add it on top of the bolster. If that's available, you can add another blanket. So get a little bit higher and make sure the bolster is right under your, right at the top edge of the bolster and the blanket are right at the top of the buttocks. Okay, and then we're going to do Shatush Padasana. That's it. Good. So just start with your arms at your sides alongside the bolster. The knees are bent. Get as high as you can. Have your knees right over your ankles. Have your heels wider than your toes and lift up your hips. Shatush Padasana. Lift your hips up. Lift. Yes. Press your arms down. Climb up onto the top of the shoulders. Have your palms upwards, just right outside the bolster. Right outside that bolster. Lift your hips. Yes. And then come down. You got it. Great. Okay. Adjust your bolster if you need to. And then lift up your hips again. That's it. Turn your palms downwards and raise your arms up over your head. Raise your arms up. Vic, turn your feet more in. Yes, like that. Raise your arms all the way up. Lift the hips. Lengthen the fronts of the thighs. Lengthen those thighs. Get your tailbone to come up into the body. I like your green fingernails, Grace. I love those. And then come down. Yes. That reminds me of Sally Bowles. Do you know that? Sally Bowles. She had green fingernails. Yeah, that looks good. Yes. Lift up your hips. There you go. Good. Okay, so once again, turn your palms downwards, raise your hips up, raise those hips up, raise your arms up. If there's no room, don't worry about that. Just keep your arms down. Yes. Lengthen the fronts of the thighs. Get all the way up. Lift your hips, tailbone in and up. Super good. And then bring your arms down and stretch out your legs. Keep your legs on the floor. Roll your legs in, Setu Bandha. Nice. Bring your arms back alongside your body with your palms upwards. Keep scrubbing your heels along the floor, rolling the thighs in. Lengthening the abdomen. Soften the sides of your neck. If the blanket feels too high, you can always take it out. Soften your face. Good. And now bend your knees, and you can just lift up your hips. Put the blanket under your head and your neck, and put the bolster under your thighs and rest for Shavasana. Push away any props you don't need to touch now. And just take your legs as wide as your mat and have your arms a little bit wider. And then find your inner thighs and roll your inner thighs to your outer thighs. So your legs just kind of fall open and your feet will fall open. And then find your arms. Find your inner arms and roll them to the outer arms so that your shoulders go back and your thumb fingernails get closer to the floor. Palms are up. Soften your abdomen and soften across the top of the shoulders there. Now highlight your face. Soften all of the skin and the muscles of your face. Connect your eyes to your brain. Connect your ears to your brain. Relax your tongue down. Relax your throat. And connect your brain to your heart. And then inside your heart center, you can acknowledge once again that deeper peace, that always present peace. Let loose and let go. Now bring your hands onto your body and begin to deepen your breath. And bend your knees and roll to your right side. And slowly come on up to sit. And bring your hands to your heart center. And raise your chest weight upwards and bow your head downwards to your heart. And just fill yourself with all the love and the encouragement you need to move forward in your life in all the different ways. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace to us all. Peace to this world. Namaste.